5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good night, Judge.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yes, sir. So, what I try to know is pinpoint some things about different places of the world and them impact. But I could start off with this one for today. What courtroom moment still sticks in your head?
I have to give me some time to think more of that. But there are various moments both in criminal law, in criminal courts and in the civil courts.
Yeah.
You have to give me some time to just think more of that.
Pinky, that's a pumpy. No wonder.
No, it was a different judge.
Okay. So, alright, what the biggest case that you did have impact on enough things are going?
I think it started out very small.
Yeah.
When I changed the sentencing for the possession of ganja,
Yeah.
and not to give them a fine or a prison sentence, but to give them community service.
Okay. So it was a series of them.
Yeah, it created
Okay.
quite an impact.
Okay. I remember afterwards you even come after you retire, you go back again, go do the expungement, right?
Yeah, expungement of criminal record.
Okay. Alright.
Community service had a profound impact.
Yeah. Okay. You never strain the resources and them thing there.
Well, the resources were the government benefited off with our prison. As most of people don't have money to pay the fine.
Yeah.
Well, you gave them some meaningful something to do with their lives.
Yeah.
And to the community itself.
Yeah.
And there were some profound performances from that.
Like individuals stand out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One gentleman, he cleaned up a schoolyard, school premises, planted peas. And when it was to be reaped, there was so much peas that he started working at the school.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Actually reap off all the peas and they made some money from it.
Yeah. Okay. Did this trend take on?
It took on. I wouldn't say it was the main cause.
Okay.
But people started to see the ganja sentence in a different light. It was mandatory sentence, 18 months.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Alright. How would Jamaica's equality fight show up in your cases? How would Jamaica's equality fight? Yeah.
Well, it all depends on where you work. You get cases from the ghetto, you get cases from the upper class, and blatantly or patently, what do you say, discernible among the parties. You see not only inequality but injustice being meted out to certain people because of their social standard and therefore their ability to retain lawyers and all those things.
Or even especially the same ganja man who couldn't afford it.
They couldn't get. They could hardly buy these people in charge of the police charge them for.
Okay.
And they were young people.
Yes, sir.
And then they didn't have a start. There was no start, so they had no start. That was the thing that doomed them for life.
Yeah, because if you want to record now, that cramp up traveling and everything, some workplace and thing. Okay.
After your police record, you couldn't move.
Yeah.
Not even on the farm work program to go on to the United States to work on the farm. Or Canada, you couldn't move in that direction. You were more or less doomed for life.
Wow. Okay. Any US ideas like laws you saw in court?
You know what?
US ideas like laws you saw in court?
Well, you could see, when you read magazines or the media, you could see where there were gross injustice to the blacks and to the lower class. It's as far as you in sentencing, you try as far as possible to address that kind of injustice that you saw. You know, that was especially among juveniles or young people
Yeah.
who had no opportunity.
So you want to clarify?
No, well, you read what was happening, not only in the United States, no. It's good for somebody to you read widely. I read all the news reports from different countries to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And all the young people were being lost to crime and violence. And you try as far as possible to address it. I also invoke sentences where the people have to, a part of the bail, if you are sent out on bail, you have to attend church.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you had a matter before the court, like for possession of ganja, or dealing in ganja, or violence,
Yeah.
assault or wounding, you have to go to church.
So the next question is
So
then,
in that kind of sentence,
yeah.
you solicited the help of the vicar,
Who?
the minister.
Okay. Oh, the pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see how as far as possible.
So
He can help in the rehabilitation or to the redirection of the person.
yeah. Or like to take an interest in the person.
Yeah, when the person go to church and talk to him after service.
Yeah, yeah. Have to sign something?
It was always supervised by the probation officer.
Okay, okay.
You see that I get her more in these kind of things. When they come up and the case time came for sentence, you ask for a social inquiry report.
Okay.
And you see where the person has come to the directive to attend church and all those things. I had to go back to school.
Yeah, yeah. So the next question is then, do you remember the instance that give you that trajectory in your court life? During your court life?
I think it came from my expression into Christianity.
Okay.
There's never, you think about it, you think the sentence, you weren't excited by what the society was asking for. You get more excited and see if you can rehabilitate the person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So that when you have those basic principles that you can evoke on the Bible.
Yeah. No, like Jesus stopped them from stone, Mary Magdalene.
And then you read books like Gifted Hands by Benjamin Carson.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a book also written by Dr. Herbert Thompson.
Yeah.
Those basic books.
Remember the title?
No, you can Google it, Herbert Thompson. He was the principal at Northern Caribbean University. Very progressive mind.
Yeah. Last question, sir. What lesson from your judge days is for kids now? What lesson from your judge days is for kids now?
For what now?
What lesson from your judge days is for kids now?
You see, you just you reflect on what you happened, how effective it was, and if I was still on the bench, I would apply those principles more vigorously and find more innovation.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. To find something that will address a problem.
Yeah. Two birds with one stone.
That's what the person who before you, the accused person, what basic problem that person is facing. What are you do a quick analysis of the person's life. You probably get acquainted with the community where they're from, what is the problem in the community. Well, you know that in the ganja era, the pressure on the youth to smoke ganja was very, very profound.
Yeah.
And today it is becoming the same way too.
So what would you say to kids nowadays, especially in terms of
Well,
all we learn, you know?
The drug that we dealt with when I was on the bench was like ganja.
Yeah.
But today you have all kind of
Fentanyl, cocaine,
coke,
crack,
cocaine,
yeah.
all these, we call them designer drugs. They're more profound.
So you tell them just stay far because of worse, I think.
Yeah. No, not so far. You when they come to you, the offense has already been committed.
Yeah.
So the thing that's before most on your mind is not just that put the person in prison, but then become addicted to the substance.
Yeah.
But to see how you can get them out of that,
Yeah.
you can rehabilitate them.
Yeah.
That should be the object of the sentence.
So what your message to kids?
The message to kids is it takes different turns. It all depends on what you want to leave with the person. I think I told you about the boy who came before me for eating his mother.
Yeah.
And I sent him to the courthouse step to repeat, I will honor my father and my mother.
Yeah.
While the courtyard was very crowded,
Yeah.
everybody would look up on him and I'll repeat the commandment to honor your mother and father that you did me down upon the land.
Yeah.
And it had so much effect on him that he came back to me years after. And
That man there?
Yeah, he came back to me and thanked me.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. The problem that facing you with an accused person is not to get your pound of flesh.
Okay.
Or to give the society their pound of flesh.
Yeah.
But to see how you can heal the wound between the person and
Redeem
the society
them.
itself.
Yeah.
Going back to the books now, a lot of the kids, the books that I recommended to kids, I don't remember all of the books now.
Yeah.
But I read them and sometimes I ask them to write a dissertation or a composition on the book. Read the book, come back to me, write something on the book, and come back to me.
So where them get the book? Don't go buy it?
We have to tell the parents are always present or some relatives present.
Yeah.
And you direct them to the library.
Yeah.
I remember there was a doctor guy that had sent his son up to Northern Caribbean University.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to write a book, a dissertation on and gifted hands.
Yeah.
And he wrote it, and Dr. Thompson look over, reviewed it and talked to him.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, about that too. I must find out from the father one day. I must call him father one day. Find out on to him.
Well, sir, well, we're signing out for now. All the super judgeites and fans, have a good weekend. Check in with you next week.
Recommendations to the youth nowadays. There are books out there, but the problem is that some of them can't even read.
Okay.
There's nobody there to help them to learn to read. You know, so I have to read to them. The other part of the puzzle really is that the government has now equipped the court with probation officers, victim support officers, and even the police were trained in that field. So yeah, the court is more or less equipped now to redirect them.
Yeah.
And to direct them to something different.
Okay. So it kind of become institutionalized.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're using it.
Okay.
It should be there. That should be the method that they use. Especially when you deal with juveniles. You know, the juveniles should be given special care to see that they learn to read. When they come to the court and they can't read, you make sure that they attend some institution or there are some facilities available to them to learn to read. Or somebody even to read to them and read and explain what the moral behind the story you're telling, you're directing them to.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of books out there that can help.
Well, you don't want them to start off with probably Ben Carson, Gifted Hands.
Gifted Hands is a superb book.
Okay.
And it stems from violence because Ben Carson in that book.
Yeah.
In the story. Had stabbed the boy, you know. And the knife blade broke.
Yeah.
Because he was lucky enough that the blade of the knife catched him by and broke the bottle. The boy's bottle, shoulder's bottle, and broke. And he thought he had stabbed the boy. He thought the boy was dead. And the one with Herbert Thompson told about his condition. He grew up, had to go under the house was at night time and read a book with the shade, with lamp.
Oh.
I like all the Jamaican students in my time or before my time, and even after my time, we didn't have the luxury of electricity, so we had to use lamp.
Yeah.
Some of us years after suffer from problems with the eye.
Yeah.
You know, then you have the books like the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
It's very good book has to show you, how these boys become fought against evil with their father. The father was a detective.
Yeah.
And don't lose sight of the fact that the church, you have to have some comradeship with the church and the ministers in the community who who can help them.
Yeah.
But you have to approach them because most of them are not suited for this kind of work. But like now, I think it's different.
Yeah. Like a man would rather wet the youth with oil instead of counseling. That you mean? Like a pastor would rather wet the youth with oil instead of counseling. That you mean? When you say not equipped, when you say some of the pastors not equipped.
They go to the seminary and come back as ministers. But in terms of that kind of social work.
Oh, okay. Okay.
to work with the courts.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Because you can have a church where the mother is going to church, the father is going to church, but they have children who are recalcitrant, or is giving trouble. And sometimes not even people in the church know that they are troublemakers. Because I remember there's a very good friend of mine, me and she went to school together. And right up at the association all up in Dallas here. So I used to drive up and they had meeting at the association hall. But our children was always on the street playing.
Yeah.
One night I went up and called her out of the church. And I had to give her a proper piece of cursing. And so I had to come out and go home and teach her children. When I child is now, she's very, very progressive.
Yeah.
I said, you can't have them, you're in the church singing and clapping your hands and the children outside on the street playing. And not even doing no homework.
Yeah.
You have different turns, twists and turns.
Yes, ZV, Jamaican version of Robert Frost. Go to Amazon.com and you see all his books. Big time writers, influential, uplifting, every which way. Amazon.com, Xavier Murchison. Zin, every time. Ganja.
Bless up.
Yeah. Uptown, downtown, Plastown, what am I trying to hold around? They're done in a king of a boom, bounce belly, kid don't go so.
Oh,